Hello, hello. May peace and blessings be with you. I am super excited to be sitting down with Vanessa Calfin today. Vanessa, it is such a pleasure to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and let's get today's conversation started.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hi, Timmy. Thanks for having me today. My name is Vanessa Calfin. So I'm a therapist, I'm a coach. I do lots of things, basically working with women who have had enough in their lives to set boundaries and to get to the life they want. A lot of us know what we want, we know the steps we need to take, yet nothing happens. So my job here is to help you get to the point where you know how to do it, where you know which one your blocks are, so that you can move forward and create the life you really want. And today we're going to be talking about the personality archetypes. And that's something that we're going to need in order to make that life happen. Once you know yourself really well, then you can remove the blocks that are standing in your way.
I love it. Vanessa, it's so powerful diving into and learning more about ourselves, right? So, personality archetypes is one way of doing that. There are so many other assessments that we can do. And I absolutely enjoy doing that because every single time I do that, I get additional insights about myself, right? What drives me and what are things that hold me back? And then how can I show up better and, overcome those blocks that get in the way. And I know that you also enjoy learning about yourself and also about your clients, right? You're it's just so fascinating whenever we're speaking. Just from our conversation with each other, we learn something about the other person as well as ourselves. It's like, so fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get to it, to the personality archetypes. Would you like to describe what they are? Would you like to tell us what they're for, how they help us?
Sure. So the ones we're going to be talking about today, they have been taught by Kendall Summerhawk. Vanessa, you and I first learned them from one of our awesome, awesome coaches, Terry Babers. And the way she describes it, it's basically 8 different archetypes. I'm just quickly going to talk about probably in pairs. I think that'll make the most sense. So, the first two I'll talk about is the alchemist and the maverick. So, alchemists are always generating ideas and making something happen, and mavericks are also the ones that are chasing after different ideas, but they have a rebel in them. Their energy is more like a rebel. So that's a pair. Then we have the connectors and the nurturers. The connectors, where they are really keen on building relationships, building connection with people and everything around them, not just people, all beings around them. And nurturers are there to make sure they are caring for others, to sometimes to the point that they prioritize others above them, right? So it's just so interesting. So I've talked about 4 so far. Vanessa, I'll pause here. I'll see if you want to say anything about these 4 first before I dive into the other 4.
Yes, well, like you said, the nurture. That's one of the problems that a lot of women of us have, is once we nurture somebody, we forget to nurture ourselves. So it's the perfect example of when you have something that's a quality that can turn into an obstacle in your own life. Especially for us women, we're taught that we have to nurture other people before we nurture us. So I like the way you do it in pairs, so that it works together. And some of them also interlap with the others, the other 4 pairs that you're going to talk about. And the one that I want to introduce is the one that I am, which is the romantic. So I'm going to let you talk about the other 4. If you want to start with the romantic, we can start to see how it links with a connector.
Sure. So the other 2 I'll talk about is the ruler and the romantic. So the rulers are, getting it done. get to the decisions, get to the point very, very quickly. They don't a lot of times have patience for all the other things that need to happen. And romantics, I find, are the opposite. In some ways, are the opposite of that. They are very cool, calm, collected, chill about everything. It is just, they it's just such a beautiful energy. They go after luxury and comfort, that is what drives them. So it's like so beautiful. Okay, so we talked about those two, and the last two, I'm looking over here because I want to make sure I don't miss any. Then we have the celebrity and the accumulator. So the celebrity is also um, going after luxury, but they do it in a way where they are born to be stars. Like they have, these powerful magnetic personalities. That is what shines through for them. And the last one is an accumulator, which is like an inner banker. They're wise with the money, they're wise with decisions, they take their time, and are really good with thinking things through, evaluating the pros and cons. um, pretty cool stuff.
It is, and they're very mixed together. And they kind of, sometimes you have one, sometimes you have another. And the way that this works is that you have one main one, and then you have an influencer, one of these archetypes. So all of us, once we do the assessment, we have basically two that are the most, we say, the most important of them all. We each have a little bit of those. We each have an inner banker, as you say. We each have a celebrity. We each have an accumulator. We each have a lot of these, but they go in terms of importance. Two of them are going to be the most important of them all, and it's going to be the one that you're going to be needing to focus on in your own life, so that you can get things done and not just kind of wait until life, happens for you. So if you want to, I can go ahead and start with telling you which one mine are, because as a therapist, we tend to just kind of shy away from talking about ourselves, with our patients and with our clients. And we say, no, we focus on them and not on us. And I think it's important also to be true about who you are, so that we can connect better. And once you know which one your archetypes are, then you can connect with people who have the same type of archetypes. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and take the plunge today and reveal reveal to you who you're listening which one my archetypes are, to see if we connect. So to my surprise, my main archetype is the artist. When I found out, I fought it like you have no idea to me. I just said, no, I'm not an artist. I'm not an artist. For me, artists are people who are going to go hungry along the way, and then I realized that's not the case. The artists are people who do things differently than other people, who always find, I won't say necessarily a better way to do something, but a new way. They want to try, It's kind of a little bit like the crazy inventor. I don't know if you've seen Back to the Future. Remember Doc? He had to try stuff, whether it worked or not. It didn't matter in the end. What mattered is the thrill of doing it something a different way. So if you're an artist, you probably have that quality. And another quality which is very inherent in the artist is going against the rules. We artists do not like rules. We do not like to be told what to do. And in my case, if you tell me what to do, I will usually go out my way to do the opposite of that. I will say, no, if you tell me what to do, I will go and do exactly what you're not telling me to do. So those are two parts that are very inherent in the artist. And once you know that these are your qualities, you can really try a lot of different things, and you can stop feeling like you're all over the place, because an artist is going to be all over the place. An artist, we think of painters, is going to have, pencils everywhere, but it's the same thing in our mind. If you're an artist, it means that your mind is going to be scattered. Not that you're, how to say it, superficial, but you have an idea, and then another idea, and then another idea. And then you're just kind of juggling with all these ideas. So you have to figure out which way to go ahead and structure and give a plan to your ideas. What do you think about that? What's your take on the artist?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's so interesting that we say we kind of fight it, right? We kind of fight it. And I think that is what takes us even longer to have success, when we're fighting it, right? When we ease into that, when we accept who we are, and actually say, okay, that is my strength. I already have that. How can I leverage that? How can I double down on that? That is when, powerful things happen, right? We almost like get out of our own way to, begin making progress. It's just, yeah, so fantastic. So Vanessa, I know that you use that for when you're working with your clients. I also, in a very different way, I also use this knowledge, this assessment with my clients when we're talking about building your businesses and stuff like that, right? So what's an idea that they're pursuing? Is it aligned with their personalities? Is it aligned with their archetypes? And I loved how you said that we all have access to all all of them, right? It's just
Mhm.
that which one is a strength for us and which one is a stretch for us, right? So the ones that are strengths, I think those we need to literally like build our lives, build our businesses according to that, and not go against the grain there, but then know that which ones stretch us, and bring people that are strong in that to help us, because I think that overall we kind of need all archetypes to be kind of working together, right? So the holes that we have, we actually fill with the other archetypes where people are strong in that, where it's their strength. And I think when we're working together, so many times, like I see when we're collaborating on teams together, when we have all different ones met in a group or in a like a mastermind or something that we're doing together, that ends up being so powerful. It's like, we have all our bases covered. It's like amazing.
Do you want to tell us, Timmy, a little bit about how you help your own clients? What kind of work you do with them?
Sure. I wasn't even ready to dive into that. So I feel like I'm a tech nerd, right? I
Okay.
live and breathe tech all day long. So I have been helping my clients launch profitable businesses by um, helping them understand the tech, by building tech solutions for them. So new entrepreneurs, especially coaches, it's because I really want to be a facilitator of their success. And
Mhm.
I just want to help them with, all things tech to make sure they're, putting their offers out there and doing it brilliantly. But interestingly, what is the most energizing to me in working with people and with technology is the transformations in people who we become while we are working together. Like I think we talk about the left side of my brain, tech all day long. But really, like at the end of the day, I'm just like, okay, I made a difference by helping this person do this thing a little bit better, or we were stuck on this problem or whatever, and we created a solution together. So those are the things that really energize me, and that's why I keep doing this work.
So tell me, do you want to give us a little spoiler about which kind of is your archetype, which is your main one? How does that fit into how you're helping people? Tell us.
Oh my goodness. So I think at my inner core, I definitely am alchemist. I am
Okay.
definitely the one who's pursuing ideas and things like that constantly. Um, and really trying to see them through completion, not just, have an idea and then, not sure like whether to implement it or not. I feel like I do not settle down until it becomes a reality.
Yeah.
And the way I go about doing that is my influencing archetype is a nurturer. So,
Okay.
with I do it with a lot of love, and it's very important to me that people feel um, seen and heard and validated as we're, building these things together, because otherwise you can take somebody's solution, you can take somebody's canned solution, implement it, but if my clients' personalities don't show through that, it's not a huge success. Like they don't want to promote that program, they don't want to launch that program, they don't want to tell people about it and stuff like that. So it's very important to me that their personalities shine through in whatever they're putting out into the world.
Perfect. Perfect. So it kind of makes sense because me as an artist who have lots of ideas, then to meet with an alchemist like yourself, that's why it works because you make things happen and I give ideas.
Yep. So
The mixing together.
yeah, that's why it's so important to know like what we're great at and kind of staying in that zone, and bringing people who have complementary archetypes or skills that will complete the the full picture for us and for our clients too. I think, it's super helpful.
Absolutely. So as an artist, I'm complementary with an alchemist, so we can work together well. You can complement the things that I need to work on, and I can complement the things that you need to work on as well. So we work together efficiently this way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here, let's give our people who are listening ideas of obstacles. How our archetype can be an obstacle at points. So far, I've given you my main one, which was the artist, and like I said, the artist has so many hats that they're wearing that they can start to doubt themselves. So I would say like a sabotage, a self-sabotage that artists have, or in my case that I have, is doubting and say, well, what am I really? Am I a therapist? Am I a coach? Am I a healer? Am I a music therapist? Because I also give water therapy in the swimming pool. So, the sort of left brain of myself says, well, make a decision. What are you? You got to fit into a mold. You got to be like everyone else, and so by that way, an artist can hold themselves back and say, oh, right, I have to, do like everybody else says. And if you just stop and say, no, an artist doesn't have to put themselves into a pigeonhole.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. But I noticed that in the way that I was working, in the way that I was working with social media, sometimes I would hold myself back. I say, oh, well, I can't say that online because, it's going to be confusing. So it's kind of a way where in French you say you put yourself in the carpet and you fall over. Your feet fall over the carpet. It's that kind of thing where as an artist, you need to completely, we say, assume the position. Say I'm an artist and I'm just going to be lots of things at the same time. So that was an obstacle for a long time, that I needed to put myself in a category, and that I pressured myself to be something that I wasn't. And that's one of the sabotage that I would say the artist has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you? Would you have sabotages in The Alchemist?
Yeah, I think lots of ideas all happening all at the same time, right? Like figuring out the priority, right? How to schedule them, how to prioritize them. And as you're working on one idea, your mind goes to another idea, which is similar to artists, right? But I
Yes.
think artists is more, I want to say more like free flowing, right? More free flowing when we are allowing it to be. With alchemists, I think the drive is to make something happen, like to get to the end goal, right?
Yes.
I think the difference between artists and alchemist energy, I feel, is that artists is like you enjoy the process, like the process is itself is just amazing, right? You actually don't want it to end, you don't want it to stop. And I think alchemists are trying to build, create, or invent, but I think they're so focused on the end result, like they want it to happen, they want it to work. They don't enjoy the process as much. I think they enjoy the process but not as much, right? Not as much as artists. So
Right.
it's interesting. And I think I attract a lot of other alchemists too, because if we're creating a space where we're saying it's okay for you to have a lot of ideas, right? It's okay for you to work on multiple things all at the same time. And it's okay for you to say no, not yet to some things as we're working, and you'll get to it later on, right? I think all of that, when I'm creating a space like that, I think I attract other alchemists in my world also. I'm trying to think. So I'll talk about the sabotages of the nurturer, right? So the sabotages of the nurturer is that we are basically running on empty tanks all the time, right? We're constantly giving, that we actually don't take time to refuel ourselves, right? So I almost think that, alchemist and nurturer together is almost like a crazy
An oxymoron, no? Yeah,
So
you spread yourself thin, probably.
yeah, yeah. So
That's an
true.
interesting combination. I hadn't thought of that. And about the influencing archetype, for a while, I always thought that the first archetype was so much more important than the second. And in my case, I've done this assessment several times, and every time the second or the influencing archetype has always been the romantic. So I realized that the romantic and the influencing archetype is almost like the whole reason why the first archetypes can get to work in the first place. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, the romantic, basically, if you are the romantic archetype, it means you really care about making a deep connection with somebody. And that doesn't necessarily have to be at work. It could be even just going to the supermarket. It's you don't want to waste your time with frivolities. You want to feel heard. You want to feel listened. You want to feel understood. You want to feel special. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how romantics are. And it's not only in romantic, situations. It's in everywhere. It's everything you do. So for me, when I realized that, it made me realize that I really need to put the priority in in my relationships, in everything I do, not just in the social situations. And I'll share a success story, that I have with once I understood that archetype is when I used to do work on my social media and get to know about my business. And I was told, you need to spend some time in the morning, 9 to 11, get on the computer and get it going, this kind of structured, very, very French, way that I learned to do things. And one day that I was, telling myself that, I said, oh, forget it. I'm just going to take a break, and I just randomly just called a friend and somebody from high school. And I was so excited. I was telling her about, all these people that I've been working with and what I'm doing, and using it as a distraction, so to speak. And before the end of the conversation, she got so excited and said, well, I want to do that. I want to get on board. So by the end of the week, we started working together, and she changed her life in such a dramatic way. And I was a little surprised to say, well, how did that happen? I wasn't planning to call about a business call. I wasn't looking for clients. I was just taking a break. I was just getting into what I was really doing at the time without knowing it is I was honoring, leveraging, as you say, the romantic archetype. I just went and made a connection just from my heart. And when I worked out of my heart, then the other person heard and listened to the message that she needed to hear in order to transform her own life. So that's what I learned is that once you honor that part of yourself, it stops being work. You
Mm-hmm.
don't force yourself. All you have to do is make connections, is honor, that romantic is only talk to people that make you excited, connect, and not necessarily kind of drudge, into the, oh, I need to work, I need to prepare, I need to do this. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. Vanessa, so powerful. I'm so glad you shared this. So I had a similar thing happen with one of my clients also, where she just made a small little shift where allowing herself to be an artist, like to, do the things that energize her soul first thing in the morning, just doing that actually gives her permission and gives her so much fuel that she can get through so many other things throughout the day. Just a shift of how you schedule that time, honoring yourself. And I feel like it is so powerful. And with very little energy you can propel so much farther, right? So much faster if you're working in alignment with who you are, right? That we're saying that you have access to all the archetypes, right, in your personality, but there are a
Mhm.
few that are basically they're effortless for you, right? And if we honor that and we structure our life, our businesses, everything that we do according to that, we're like in flow. We're living living in flow. And I feel that it's almost effortless. For me, if I build something, like if I learn something and create a quick little solution, it doesn't even have to be something super fancy or anything like that. In the first couple of hours in my day, I am fulfilled. I can now go on and tackle anything that life throws at me. So just becoming very clear on who you are, what you need to be successful. And I think that is what we want everybody to do in 2024, right? Start today, but learn this about yourself so that you can put things in place that ease you into your business, that ease you into your life, that attract the right kind of people to your world, and hopefully repels the ones that are not for you, that drain you.
Exactly. Yeah. It's being honest about that, that some people just are not meant to work with you and you're not meant to work with them. It's as much as you repel them, they repel you. So it's not judging that feeling. It's just recognizing that your archetypes may not be honored by working with that person.
Mhm.
So you're basically doing not only them and you a favor, but also the universe in general, not to mix these people that aren't meant to be working together. And they may work better with other people, just like you may work better with others at the same time.
Absolutely. And our energy connects with people first before we even, I feel like, before we even do anything with them, right? Before we even dive into any details or anything like that. If they say yes to our energy, then they evaluate our expertise, right? So I think it's also very powerful in your marketing, in your messaging, in how you're showing up. If you are showing up authentically aligned with who you are going to connect with people way more, right? Way more than um what you may have like chat gpt write for you or whatever. So
Yeah, that's helpful too at the same time. But it's important, like you say, to honor those archetypes. And I would suggest, each of us to every time we make a decision. Today we're talking about business, is to see if this decision is supported or supports your both of your archetypes. And that way, it's a lot easier to decide, than to say, oh, am I making the right decision? Am I being petty? Am I being superficial? You have all these doubts. And in order to get rid of those doubts, is just see, is it honoring, my archetypes? And for me, in one particular case, I was invited to give conferences, about water therapy and how we can heal through water and how we can heal in general. And I looked at those conferences and I thought to myself, are they honoring both of my archetypes? So my work entails working, one-on-one, online, also in person, and sometimes small groups. And this time I had about 200 people in conferences. So was that honoring my archetype? And I said, yes, because it's making me do something different. It's making me totally get out of my comfort zone and try something new. And of course I was nervous. And of course I wasn't sure how that was going to go. But my archetype, being the artist, has to try something different. So it was basically doing the same thing, but instead of speaking to one person at a time, I can do it with 200 and see how that works. So in that sense, the artist was being fulfilled. So then I looked at the influencing archetype, which was the romantic. Was how could I make the romantic be fulfilled? When I went, I didn't know anybody. It was there were a lot, not only the people who listened to the conferences, but the other panel experts. So what I did is I reached out to one of the panel experts that I thought, would be more appropriate for me. And so I made this connection with her and her husband. So we talked and we had all these ideas about how we're going to speak. And so once we made that connection, that was my sort of my inspiration, as you say earlier, about how it was helping me in this case, not only for the rest of the day, but for the rest of the conferences that I was going to give for the three-day panel. That gave me the strength, and I was able to navigate through any kind of difficulties that there were, which were a lot. But I was able to do that because I was able to fulfill that influencing archetype. I was filled. I was making connection from the heart, and I was doing things that differently than what I had done before. So that's an example that I can give you of honoring my archetypes in a decision that I had to make. Do I go or do I not go? To make these conferences. Is it something that's going to be worthy for me or not?
Mhm. Yeah, Vanessa, you just prompted a thought in my mind. It's so nice how you described it. How you're evaluating when you're making decisions. Is it honoring my archetypes or not? So I want to just share that someone with a different combination, right? Someone with a artist as their primary, but they're something else as their influencing would be making different decisions, right? So I don't know why, but the thought came to mind, what if it's artist and accumulator as the influencing, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
it would be very different. Like because I think for you, the need for that connection as a romantic is so important that you would actually turn down opportunities and things like that because they don't honor your archetypes, right? But with accumulators, that may not be the case, right? So knowing what your primary and influencing archetypes are, I think is super helpful, because then you can say, is this for me or is this not for me, right? What do you think about that? I don't know why
Yeah,
that
exactly.
came to mind.
No, I love that idea, because sometimes we judge ourselves, and I know sometimes I judge myself, like in that in an interest like that, where you would have less opportunities because you don't necessarily like the people who gave you that proposal. Uh, but for me, as a romantic, if I have one meeting with one person that I really enjoy, like when I'm talking with you, for instance, that's going to give me fuel for the rest of the day. So if I won't need personally to meet 4 or 5 clients today to satisfy my needs, because that's already been filled with one real deep heart connection.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in a way, it takes away some opportunities that I would have with other people, but I'm filled enough. I'm filled enough, and this when it's a heart to heart connection, I can have great ideas. It's kind of a fuel for telling, oh, maybe I'll do another live in a different way, and maybe I'll do it one in French, and maybe I'll do this, because the energy of the romantic has supported me in that way, and I think it's for me, it's the key to opening everything. It sounds like corny, but it's like a magic, like a key to a magic door, to a secret door, that I found once I found my archetypes. And to conclude this example, when I first started working as a therapist, I was trying to find mentally the answer, to people's problems. So if you were coming to my session for the first time, I would be like, ooh, I wonder how I can fix her. I wonder how I can, in one session, I'd be putting all this pressure for me to come up with these solutions. And over time, because I've been doing this for over 20, 25 years now, I learned one very simple trick, which is, the romantic really that has taught me that, is all I have to do is just listen and take in who you are, and just open myself, and not just looking at yourself and listening to yourself with the mind, but just being receptive to you and seeing how what you're saying and what's coming out of you, what's emanating, what happens with me in my emotions. So basically, I'll get really excited, when I see something that I like about you, and I just kind of open. It's like my perceptions just kind of open, and then I get all these. I wouldn't say ideas, but all these answers to these questions that you're having, and that maybe you didn't even ask. But I give you perspectives. I give you ideas. Yeah, I give basically answers to your life just out of tuning in with your heart. I don't know if that makes sense. It sounds a little bit spiritual, but that's a little bit how it ended up working with me. Is I stopped basically making efforts. I just kind of sit down and take you in, and then I get magical answers, because I just feel this excitement about, oh, this is Timmy. I love how she does that. Like, I love how you say please, and so many of the little things that you little tasks, you always say please. And And I think you're the only person I know who does that. And it's such a tiny little detail, but it makes you know, and I'm always excited because I think, oh, so you have such a nice gesture, such respect of with one little word. So hearing this little word just kind of makes me happy, you know, and so I just kind of open, and all of these different perspectives come to me that I can offer you as as a yeah, as an answer to your life. I don't know if that's a little bit too broad, but as an ideas on how to open up your life and new possibilities for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Vanessa, super powerful, right? So, I'm listening to everything that you have said, and I'm like, so many different ways to attract more opportunities when we are tuning in, right? Like when we're dialed in to who we are. And it, like, life becomes effortless. You said like you're not putting in that much effort. It's because it feels effortless. It's not that you're not putting effort in. It just feels effortless because it's just so aligned with who you are, right? So when I said about opportunities earlier, I think you attract opportunities a different way, right? For you,
Mhm.
the people to people connection and the, you know, how much you grow your network, I think that is very high on your priority list, right? Because that is what you need, right? To be successful, to feel fulfilled on a daily basis. So, and I think for each one of us, it's something different, right? What we're seeking. So knowing our archetypes and figuring out what it is that we're seeking with that, right? And honoring that. And when opportunities come our way, evaluating, is it honoring it or not honoring it? And making decisions like that rather than just saying, you know, I don't know, money's good, let's go do that. Or, you know,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's just so helpful. And with that, sometimes even if we say yes to certain opportunities and if we are not honoring our archetypes, we end up regretting it afterwards, right? So save yourself from that pain and get to know yourself better so you know what to say yes to and what to say no to.
Absolutely. I so much recommend you that you find out what your archetypes is. For me, it was just like I say, finding a passage to a secret door in my life so that it can be more magical and better. And honoring myself, honoring myself, everything falls into place. Everything falls into place, and the people who need to be here will be, and the people who need to go away will faster than if you just yeah, if you just kind of bend, you know, and say, oh, I have to do this because, you know, it's business. And like you say, the money's good, so I'll accept, you know, and saying no it's a huge power. And that's part of what I'm teaching women who come to me. I have some men as well. And it's learning how to say no, learning how to say no, but not to others. Learn no to yourself. Say no, I'm not happy doing that, but I am happy doing this other thing.
Mhm.
And sometimes in my case, I've done this work with some of my patients, and to my surprise, I've had patients who are artists in the main archetype and romantic in the influencer, exactly like me. So it makes for sessions, like you say, it may be effort, but it doesn't feel like effort. When I speak with my clients, they say, "Oh, well, I don't feel like I'm coming to work with you. I feel like I'm just going have chat with a friend." You know, and at the end, you come out of that chat much more enlivened, and much more clear and about who you are, and the things that are bothering you just kind of fall apart. You know, they just kind of take fall away. They don't not here to hinder you anymore. And that's why we wanted to introduce you to the concept that Timmy and I have been working on. And we have this, and also the concept with we have money archetypes as well, which there's a lot of things that our archetypes can teach us, like you say about the accumulator. You know, when you rather accumulate money than spend it, some people feel better that way, and
Mhm.
it's because it's just their archetype. So this is why we did this live today, so you can get a better insight. And so for this year, you are happier and lighter and not struggle so much.
Mm-hmm. 2024 is going to be a powerful year, and we want to make sure we're doing our part to make it happen for everybody, right? So, Vanessa, you want to tell us about our workshop coming up?
Yes, we are doing a workshop because we like the way our archetypes align and we like the way we work together so that we can help you find your own archetypes and give you exercises. And we will be doing a workshop where we'll be giving you active homework in order for you to not only find out which they are, but how to honor it, how to work through it, how to make it basically a habit because it's not something that comes magically, that you read a book and say, oh, I'm an artist and I'm a romantic. Oh, that's good. You can do that and then close your book and then forget about it. Don't think about it again. But here we need to practice. We need to hone in on how these archetypes, how we can use it in our health, how we can use it in the relationship with others, how we can use it in the way we travel, something as simple as that. And to put it together in a way that you're going to be having a tool for the rest of your life, that you can make the best decisions and step away from the situations that are not good for you, knowing your archetypes in those two. So we will be offering a workshop with Timmy and I. Will be giving you the dates that we're going to be doing. And just let us know in the comments if you're interested, either with Timmy or with myself. And we'll give you the dates and the times and the programs and see how you can make 2024 stand out from the other years. This is going to be a year will be more structured, more clear, and you will be more in tune and true to yourself, knowing your personality archetypes. Anything you want to add, Timmy? What would you like to add to this?
Vanessa, I'm just excited. It's going to be a lot of fun because it's going to feel like play. It's not going to feel like work at all because you're really, trying to learn something about yourself. And then with that knowledge, trying to figure out how do I implement it? How do I integrate it into my life? And, let it be the leverage that I need to be successful in 2024. Because we want you to show up and make magical things happen, but effortlessly, right?
Absolutely. So that it doesn't feel like you're doing work. So that it feels you're just having fun and inviting people into the fun.
Yeah. Just like we're having fun.
Yeah. It's always such a treat. So excited to do this, to have every magical moment with you is just great. I love it.
Vanessa, if people want to reach out to us, what's the best way? Where are we hanging out the most that they can connect with us?
Now I'm going on more. I left more of my personal profile and I'm going more into New Life by Vanessa Calfin. So if you want to write it down on the comments, it's just simple NEW Life LIFE by Vanessa Calfin, VANESSACALFAN, my last name. And you can find me on here. I also have an Instagram account, which is just simply Vanessa Calfin. And YouTube also is, believe New Life by Vanessa Calfin, which these are the main three that you can reach me in. And in YouTube, there's also several videos that you can see in also different languages. I can also in Spanish and then in French. I'm just kind of doing in all the languages that I've been nurtured in. You can find me in those three, and you can find inquiries about that. And like I said, I work online as well as in person. Here I'm in Mérida, Yucatan, and near Cancun, near the Cancun area. And so I also organize weekends and retreats so we can work on your not only your personal archetypes, but also your emotions and how to get rid of those blocks that are stopping you from really getting the best of your life.
Fantastic.
And Timmy, you want to put in your social medias so that you can have it so people who are on my page can see if they want to start also a business as well and they need some tech help.
Absolutely. I will add the banner.
Add the banner on there, and if you want to reach either of us, you can reach, and then that way we can work together with you as a duo, so that we can have 2024 be the best year. It will be the beginning of your life where you know better who you are, and you're not just going through the motions of doing the same things that you've been doing in the past over and over and getting some okay results. But this time we want more than okay results. We want awesome. We want awesome, awesome, awesome results.
Love it. Okay, so my page is facebook.com/simplify one thing, which is the name of my business. And we are all about keeping tech simple and keeping things simple in your business. Okay, so Vanessa, I also have a gift that I would like to share.
Yes.
Spirit of upcoming holidays. So a few of us collaborated together to put together this beautiful, amazing bundle that has lots of different resources from several of my friends and clients and colleagues. So if you would like to grab that, that's here. I have a Canva training and templates inside that, and that will hopefully be super powerful as you're trying to build your own business online and start to show up consistently across all different social media platforms and things like that. So this should definitely help with that. We also have a workshop on goal setting as part of that, and several other resources. So I would love for anybody who's watching, anybody who's listening, to grab a copy and hop in.
Okay, well, I'll definitely grab a copy and see and try my hand, and looking at your social media and see how that works. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
My dear, this was such a treat, such a pleasure having you here and having this conversation together. And I look forward to our next workshop together in January. We'll share the dates and times and link to register.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to it. And thank you for listening in. Thank you for taking this time over this holiday to listen to us, to this chat, and hope it helped to give you some, at least introduction into what your archetypes are and who you are. That's the main thing for this 2024. That's what we wish for you.
Okay. Have a fantastic rest of the year. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye.
Bye.